Hey guys, so I know it's been a couple of months, but finally we have some news on the Halloween sequel slated for October of 2018. Now, reading from BloodyDisgusting.com, Danny McBride was on the Empire Film Podcast where he talked about his displeasure with some of the directions that some of the sequels to Halloween originally went in and how it disappointed him, and how he can fix or kind of improve on the lore established by the first two original films. He says, I think from watching this and being disappointed by other versions of this series, I think we're just trying to strip it down and just take it back to what was so good about the original. It was just very simple and just achieved that level of horror that wasn't corny, and it wasn't turning Michael Myers into some supernatural being that couldn't be killed. That stuff to me isn't scary. I want to be scared by something I think could really happen. I think it's much more horrifying to be scared by someone standing in the shadows while you're taking the trash out, as opposed to someone who can't be killed pursuing you. That speaks volumes to what made the original so scary, and I'm really happy that he said that. Now, he's saying all the right things so far. That doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect movie or a perfect follow-up per se, but he is at least saying the right things. He's talking about that naturalistic feeling that's in the first couple of movies that still kept you on edge when you were watching. Even in the second film, you didn't know completely what was driving him or how he was living through everything he was. And that's what really the essence of the scariness was in the first couple of films. This very weird sense of power that this character had in a pretty naturalistic world. And I think if they can bring it back to those roots and have that really naturalistic feeling that John Carpenter implemented into the first film, I think they'll have a much better film on their hands than, say, Rob Zombie did. Because, again, that wasn't really naturalistic. That was a very overwhelming kind of physical force that Rob Zombie just put into his films, and while still not trying to make it supernatural, he made it almost supernatural, and it didn't really make any kind of consistent sense. So looking at the approach that McBride is saying he wants to bring forward with David Gordon Green, I'm really looking forward to see how they capture that. They don't want anything to be corny, they say. They also seem to want this naturalistic feeling, and that's probably one of the most important elements of Halloween in terms of its film lineage. I mean, you go back to the original, and it feels the most real compared to all of the others, any of the sequels really. And I think that's one of the things people overlook the most when looking back on John Carpenter's original. Nobody really seems to pick up on that naturalism or that just down-to-earth real feeling. It's very hard to illustrate it without saying the same words, but I do have a video planned in which I'm going to analyze these kinds of details very specifically, but that's going to be coming a little while from now. Anyway, I think he is saying all the right things right here. He is displaying that he has some prowess and some knowledge of what makes the original as good as it is, and he's really showing a great appreciation and attention to detail on what makes these kinds of films work and what has failed in the past. And from what I'm seeing right here, it sounds like they've got something good going here. I know they're writing it right now, and I'm just wondering, again, how they're going to implement that feeling of naturalism into the film. And if they can pull that off, I will say that it will be probably a quality product. I mean, in comparison to some of the other sequels that have come out in years past, I think they've got quite a good shot of impressing some people, especially with the lengthy process it took to find a pitch that the producers, especially John Carpenter, really loved. So with that said, I'm going to close it out right here. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think he's on the right track? That this team could be the team to bring this series back to the level of quality that it used to be? I, for one, think that this is a good sign and that things are going pretty well, because he just sounds inspired. You know what I mean? He doesn't sound like he's motivated by money or he's just trying to make a cheap fan cash in or a shot-for-shot remake. He sounds inspired to bring something of quality and of something that he feels needs to represent the same quality that we got in 1978. So with that said, comment below and open up the floor for discussion. Subscribe if you like this video for weekly content, and until next time guys, thank you for watching.